How are you? This video and the previous one dive into the idea of what gives life its purpose. In this one, it's all about what makes each of our lives meaningful, while the other one was looking at the big picture, like what's the meaning of life for everyone. Hope you enjoyed that one. So picture this. You've had it up to here with your job and your daily grind. And you're like, screw it, I'm out of here. Now you're just kicking back on a beach, taking it easy, right? Then one day your buddy Joe tracks you down on that beach and starts laying into you like, dude, you're wasting your life. And you're like, nah, man, I was miserable before and now I'm living the dream. But Joe isn't having it. He's like, life isn't just about being happy, dude. You gotta do something that matters. But that begs the question, what the heck is a meaningful life anyway? Let's dive into some thought provoking answers to this question. Okay, so here's the deal. Pessimists, they are the party poopers who claim life doesn't have some big cosmic purpose. They'll tell you that a beach bum's life is no more or less meaningful in the grand scheme of things than the lives of legends like Shakespeare, Martin Luther King, or Louis Pasteur or Tolstoy. But hold on a second. There's a bunch of thinkers out there who reckon that even if there's no ultimate life purpose, we can still find meaning in the everyday grind. Our lives can be meaningful in simple ways, without needing to star in some epic cosmic story. We call this everyday meaning. Now, here's the kicker. A lot of these deep thinkers who dish out theories on life's meaning, they are either unsure or straight up skeptical about the idea that life as a whole has some divine purpose. Of course, if you're all about the idea that life has a cosmic blueprint, then finding meaning might mean hitching your wagon to that supernatural plan. Some of these meaning theories might jive in with religious beliefs, but figuring out which one matches up with your own spiritual convictions, that's a puzzle you'll have to tackle yourself. So, what's the secret sauce that adds meaning to our lives, you ask? Well, stay tuned to find out. Let's keep unraveling it, folks. Subjectivists, they're all about saying your life has got meaning if it feels deep down satisfying, engaging, and fulfilling. But here's the catch. What's meaningful varies from one person to the next. You see, while some folks might find a challenging career super engaging and fulfilling, it might be as dull as dishwasher for you. You could be kicking it on a beach and there might be your jam giving you all the fulfillment you need. Now, here is where it gets tricky. Some subjectives split hairs between feeling fulfilled and actually being fulfilled. Fulfillment is like a warm and fuzzy feeling, right? But sometimes you might think you are fulfilled when you're just chilling and content. So while you're lounging at the beachside, you might mistake contentment for full blown fulfillment. But hey, if you tried your hand at some other stuff, like writing poetry, lending a hand through volunteering, or starting your own business, those things could turn out to be more fulfilling and in turn more meaningful to you. But here is the plot twist. Subjectivism can take you down some strange roads. Imagine if someone found their ultimate purpose in life by staring at grains of sand all day. They might sound bonkers, right? Like it doesn't seem to have much of a point. And what if someone got their kicks from doing really messed up stuff like hurting innocent babies or puppies? Those are some seriously dark paths and they don't exactly scream meaningful life. Now, here's the real head scratcher. Would someone who's into sand gazing or puppy torturing be leading a meaningful life according to subjectivism? Some folks might say yes. But plenty of others would slam the brakes on that idea and call subjectivism a no-go. So there you have it, the lowdown on subjectivism and its wild implications. Well, let's dig into the nitty-gritty of objective meaning, shall we? Objective thinkers are all about saying that a meaningful life is one where you work in on stuff that's got some real value, like bettering yourself, unleashing your creativity, and making the world a brighter place by chasing after and championing truth, justice, and beauty. Now, being a beach bum is not exactly making the world worse, but it isn't exactly lighting it up with positivity either. Your buddy Joe has got some concerns, man. He thinks you're tossing away your potential, missing out on doing something truly meaningful with your life. But here's a twist for you. Your decision to go all beach bum could actually be your way of flipping the bird to that whole rat race thing that's got everyone working their tails off in this overly competitive society. I've been there, went from a rat to a bum. Or maybe you're opting for a life filled with mindfulness and just soaking in the natural beauty around you as a protest against those shallow, soul crushing social norms. Looked at that way, your life might just line up with some seriously important and timeless values. Now hold on to your hats because here is where things get tricky for the objective crew. They've got to explain why some activities are objectively more meaningful than others. And let me tell you, it's like trying to catch a smoke in a net. The problem is, what might seem like a total waste of time to one person could be gold in the eyes of another. Take climbing Mount Everest, for instance. Some folks see it as this awesome feat of physical and mental strength, a source of inspiration. But then there are those who think it's flat out dumb to risk your life and pour resources into climbing a big rock when there are more pressing causes to support. Or maybe those critics are just being a tad closed minded. The meaningfulness of being a beach bum, a mountain climber, or anything else might all boil down to why you are doing it and what other choices you've got on the table, not just the activity itself. Now, here is the issue. Examples like beach bum often don't get the full picture, like what's going on beneath the surface. It's worth taking these examples and tossing in different intentions, motives, and circumstances to see how they might change our take on the whole meaningful thing. So, life is usually way more complicated than these quick examples. For the thinkers who are all about those narrative theories of meaning in life, they would say, hold up, it's not just about specific activities or roles. A meaningful life's gotta make sense as a whole story. So there you have it, the scoop on objective meaning and all the twists and turns it brings to the table. So, hybrid theory is the cool cat that blends the best bits of subjectivism and objective account. In a nutshell, it's all about having a meaningful life that gives you fulfillment while also diving into projects that hold some objective value. Now, when you talk about projects, we're not just talking about taking things off a to-do list like painting a masterpiece. No, it's also about those ongoing gigs, like keeping those tight-knit connections with your buddies and family. Hybrid theory throws down the gauntlet to objective accounts saying, hey, a meaningful life's gotta be fulfilling too. We've got loads of these projects at our fingertips because, let's face it, we are all unique with our own quirks and talents, and we can all find our own groove when it comes to stuff like truth, justice, and beauty. But here is the curveball. While a life that's satisfying to you might seem kind of insignificant or even downright lousy to someone else, maybe a meaningful life doesn't always feel like a bundle of joy. Here is where it gets complicated. Hybrid theory wants to blend the awesomeness of personal fulfillment from subjectivism and the objectivity of meaningful projects, but it's got baggage from both camps. Plus, when these subjective and objective accounts start butting heads, hybrid theory might just throw a curveball and be inconsistent. Now, let's get into some real life stories. Think about George Bailey from that classic flick, It's a Wonderful Life. Remember that? So George hits rock bottom thinking his life has been a waste. But then his guardian angel Clarence swoops in, showing him how meaningful his choices have been. So hybrid theory says George's life becomes meaningful now because he's all warm and fuzzy from his good deeds. But objective accounts say George's life had meaning all along, even if he didn't realize it. And here's another plot twist. Imagine a life that looks perfect from the outside, like a killer career, loads of cash, and a happy family. But deep down, it's a wreck, filled with sadness, dread, and annoying sense of guilt. Imagine, check out Leo Tolstoy's My Confession for that roller coaster. Tolstoy dives headfirst into his struggles with meaning, laying it all out, from his fear of dying to feeling like life is a giant question mark. And guess what? He finds his answers in religious faith. So, back to our scenario, did you trade a life that might have been a bit of a headache for the beach? Alright, let's wrap this up, folks. The wise Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, once said that the hunt for meaning is the core drive that makes us human. According to him, having a sense of purpose in life gives us the mojo to keep on trucking, even when life throws its unfair punches our way. Now, don't get it twisted. This doesn't give a pass to the folks who have done terrible things to others. Frankel's point is more about what keeps us going, not an excuse for bad weather or bad behavior. So, for those facing oppression, rebelling against their oppressors could be a super meaningful mission. Now, when we start pondering life's meaning, it often happens when we get that nagging feeling that something is just not clicking in our lives. Despite all the theories we have talked about, they mostly agree that there are a bunch of things we could do or try that would add some meaning to our life. And you know what? Chatting it up with your buddy Joe might be a solid place to kick things off. Why, you ask? Well, because strong relationships often pop up as one of the big sources of meaning in life. So maybe, just maybe, finding meaning is something we do better together, right? You can also make meaningful connections with others a key source of a fulfilling life. Get down on it. Thank you very much and see you next time. Take care.